Okay viewers, tomorrow I'll set off on a pretty long trip, 6,500 k's, and I'll show you the trip, but I thought I'd just show the bike. As I've set up, I've done a few dry runs and a few different things, but in the front both sides is where I'm carrying water. There's about 6-7 litres in there, 6 litres. Tool tube under there with all my tyre changing gear, some tools and extra tools and sockets and things like that. I just put that new SW Motec rack on and the tube fits there. I've checked there's enough clearance even with hard braking on the tyre. Plenty of clearance there. Bag on here has my trip details and fuel details, so I'm going through the desert. Has all my camera gear, electronics and things that I need to get quickly, screen wipes, things like that. GPS, full mapping GPS. I've got a backup GPS as well. Spot device, chargers and different things. This one here has my clothes and my sleeping bag in it. I'm taking a bit bigger sleeping bag because I think it's going to be a bit cooler than I expected. So about that much of that's actually a better sleeping bag. Clothes and shoes and some toiletries in there. Tent, I'm taking a bit better tent because it's such a long trip than I normally would. My normal tent will actually fit inside here. Inside of this box is all my camping stuff, a jet boil, a compressor is in there also, some bits and pieces, utensils. There's a liner for the sleeping bag, there's a chair, there's all that sort of stuff is inside there. In here, I'll just pop it open. I've got a few different tarps. I've got some paperwork here and paper versions of things, as well as on my iPad that I'm going to take, but paper versions of things and some permits and that to get to some places you need permits. A couple of tarps for if it rains or if you need to work on the bike, change a tyre, you can change on the tarp. Wet weather gear, there's 5 litres of fuel in this side, and in the bottom here, this side there's food in that container. In this container there's extra tools and multimeters, things like that, some tent pegs and a hammer. There's a couple of extra little things of food in there and some tape. There's a little bit of room in there, I can stick some more stuff in there. And then on this side, I'm just charging up the battery because it was a bit low because I've been playing around. On this side I have paper towel, some rag, that's just some shampoo, washing, detergent, things like that. Some filter oil in there, there's some wipes, a bit more food, some toilet paper, there's a shovel in the other side, there's some motor oil, another 5 litres of fuel and some more food in the bottom. I've tested these fuel containers under pretty extreme conditions and they don't seem to leak, so I don't like to put the fuel in with the food like this, but for this trip I'm sure that'll be okay. It's all sealed food anyway, so if it did get, as long as it didn't damage the packaging, you'd be right. In here I've got some more food. This is just quick access lunch sort of food, bars and different things like that, so that tube's full of quick access sort of food just to keep you going. And then on this side I've got some chain lube. I'll get that open. This side I've got some chain lube and WD-40 and things in that. Quick access on that side. And that's pretty well it. So we'll go in and have a look at what the trip entails. Okay guys, so here's a map of Australia. I live here where the cursor is in Perth. So I'll be travelling out this road, and I'll stay around here tomorrow night, and then we're heading all the way up and we're staying at Laverton. Then from there we're following this road. It's called the Great Central Road, which is just a dirt track or dirt road, through looking at some of these things like Empress Spring, some of these types of scenic things, maybe staying at Warburton the next night, or this roadhouse here.
Then just continuing to look at things and explore all the way up. There's some really good stuff around about here. Then to dock a river, maybe camp around here somewhere if we don't make it all the way to Ayers Rock and Uluru. So from here we'll probably head up to Kings Canyon, which is up here through all this mountainous, and depending on time and how we're feeling, we'll do this full circle to Alice Springs, or we may even cut it off and head. What we'll do, we'll head across to this back railway line, and we'll probably go down this railway line and to this the official centre of Australia, and then either continue down here depending on what this is like, or even head to the highway and head down here. Then Cooper Pedy is a really good place to look at. That's where they mine for opal, so we'll be looking there. And then also down into Woomera, because that's the rocket range, and there's some pretty good, interesting stuff to look at there. We'll be camping along the way, whatever time of the day it is, and then heading down to Port Augusta. From Port Augusta we'll be heading down through this peninsula and getting to Ceduna. Once we're at around, and we'll be just looking at camping along here, then once we're at Nullarbor here, we'll take this old road here, not the highway, and we'll camp at an old abandoned station here. Then we'll actually head down and ride along the edge of the Great Australian Bight, which is a pretty spectacular scenery, into Eucla, camping wherever we need to here. We'll continue along probably here. I'm not too sure if we'll duck into any of these places, maybe if we've got time, until we get to Baladonia. This piece of road here is the world's longest straight piece of road. I think it's 180 kilometres, whatever that is, miles, 150 miles maybe. And then head to Baladonia. Then we'll head down the back way in here, and then into Esperance. Then from here up this highway to Norseman here, then in this back road here, back into a farm that we own in here, and then back to the city. So all up, that is 6,500 kilometres. And yeah, we're doing it on a KLR and a friend of mine with a Africa Twin. So I'm hoping to be able to take some video along the way. I've got 3 GoPros and some other cameras, and hopefully post some footage if all goes well after I get back. So I'll be signing off until then.